going on, y'all? So, I got for you, as you can see, WWE Extreme Rules 2022, and you see my header for this. For in my thunder, you saw the header. You read that right, yes. But we're gonna get to him in a minute. We're going to get to him in a minute. So, Extreme Rules in itself was a good pay per view. Plus, I wore the reason why I got this on because it kind of sort of got the color schemes of the Extreme Rules. Sans, I don't think it really has any purple in it though. But hey, I don't have an Extreme Rules shirt. It was a SmackDown Raw. This is a pay per view, so I gotta change that eventually. But I'm getting off track. I'm so excited. Okay. First match of the night was they started off with a banger of a match. It took my breath away. The first match of the night was the Brawling Brutes versus Imperium, and in an old-fashioned Donnybrook match, which is just which you in layman's terms is just a triple threat or six-man tag. I should say not triple threat, but six-man tag, tornado tag, Extreme Rules match, and the only thing it wasn't was a false count anywhere. You still had the pinfall stat that occurred in the ring, but it was pretty much a six-man tornado tag, anything goes match, and it was a banger. It was good. It was good, and it was good. But the looming suspicion of a return person, as you saw in my hair. Everybody was waiting for that. That was like the big attraction because everybody wanted to know. Okay, the teasers of the White Rabbit said it was going to be tonight on Extreme Rules, and they delivered. But the Brawling Brutes versus Imperial match was good. It was a banger of a match, and they had the near falls, the spots, everything was good about this match. Nothing bad. 5 stars all the way around, and the Brawling Brutes got the victory here. When Samus lost on Friday, I kind of figured the Brawling Brutes was going to get a victory. But then again, I was like, there is a possibility that Imperium still might win again, might take the victory here again. And a couple of times it did look like they were going to take the win, but in the end, the Brawling Brutes won and just standing tall. And I'm guessing things are not over with Samus and Gunther because that was controversial how Gunther retained, and I'm not even talking about that he cheated to use the title. It was the weird ending how he tapped out, and he tapped out. He should have lost any kind of championship, but somehow it wasn't considered a tap out. He literally said, I did that in my SmackDown. I'm not going to do that, but okay, we got to move on. We move on to the second match of the night. There was Dexter Lumis. I want to get this out of the way too. There was Miz and Dexter Lumis promos where it was just mainly the Miz beating up on the mascot, on the hockey mascot up for Philadelphia. But it did end it with him finally getting beat up. He going crazy beating up the mascot, and then I guess he was trying to make it to Triple H's office to talk to Triple H about the Dexter Lumis problem, but he kept getting stopped by the mascot, and he finally went crazy and beat up the mascot, only to get beat up himself by Dexter Lumis, which I guess you can't say he beat him up, he just put him in another chokehold and passed him out, and then the mascot kicked him in the stomach and left with Dexter Lumis. But now on to the second match of the night, which was Ronda Rousey versus Lil Morgan. It was an okay match. It was a good match. I'm going to say it was a good match. It just started slow. That's like my only problem with this match. It started slow, but once you got to like the middle portion of this match, that's when it finally picked up and actually got good. But it had a slow start, but it did get good. Ronda Rousey got the victory here and became. You're not about to have Lil Morgan beat Ronda Rousey 3 times, but I don't know. It was just the thing about I love Liv Morgan. I wish they would have kept the belt on her but it didn't make sense to keep it on her if you wasn't going to fully back her, if you wasn't going to fully book her correctly. I don't, honestly, in my honest opinion, I don't even want it on Ronda. At this point, I wish it was a triple threat and Shayna Baszler was a part of it, and they just put it on Shayna. At this point, if you was going to take it off of Liv, put it on Shayna or somebody else other than Ronda. But they just gave me back to Ronda, and Ronda acted like the heel, trying to sell that she's a heel. And which she did good because they basically cheered. They cheered Lil Morgan. I don't understand. I don't know if Ronda is supposed to be a heel or not because she was acting like a heel in her victory, but I don't know. But yeah, Ronda Rousey got the victory here, and she's your new SmackDown Women's Champion. 2-time SmackDown Women's Champion, as they had. It was also announced that going forward, I guess for premium live events, is just going to be now Corey Graves and Michael Cole calling the match for the premium live events or the pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them. We get to the third match, which is Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross in a strap match. And this match was good. This was good. They beat the hell out of each other. And it lived up to both of them. It lived up to both characters. Both characters looked good. Win, lose, or draw. Nobody looked bad in losing. I said this in my SmackDown review that Drew McIntyre could win. It would be okay, but he didn't need to win. Karrion Kross did, and I figured that Karrion Kross was going to win. But then again, I always said the opposite momentum, so you always got to get room for the opposite momentum effect, where they go with the opposite just because of how they end the show prior to the pay-per-view. But they actually went with the same thing they did. They had Karrion Kross stand tall on SmackDown, and he stood tall here with some interference from Scarlett, because Karrion Kross was basically about to get beat, and basically Scarlett pepper sprayed him. And Karrion Kross was able to hit his move. I forgot they called it. They actually gave it a name now when he hit you in the back of your head. I just can't remember what they called it, but he got the pinfall victory there. And Karrion Kross stood tall. There was White Rabbit teases. It was only one. It was two actually. Because you had they had the little animated White Rabbit tease again, and you had somebody in a White Rabbit suit walking around the arena and outside the arena. We get to the next match, which is Bayley versus Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship in a ladder match, and this was a good trend-setting match as itself because this is the first time ever that any women's championship, whether it be SmackDown or the Raw Women's Championship, any women's championship been defended in a ladder match. And they certainly lived up to it. They certainly made history. It was a good match. This was one of the best matches of the night. But the best moment of the night, I obviously go to the person I put in the header. But yeah, if I had to say what was the best match of the night, I would say this was right up there in the top three, because Bayley and Bianca tore down the house. It was good. Of course, you had your interference from Dakota Kai and Io Sky, but in the end, Bianca Belair persevered, and she was able to retain her championship. I think it was only two championship matches of the night, was it? Yeah, everything else was just like stipulation matches. There's only two championship matches, and there was only one championship change, and it was obviously the one that you knew that was going to change hands because you wasn't going to have Liv Morgan beat Ronda 3 times. But Bayley looked good though in her tactics, and I know they're gonna be hurting, man, because no women put themselves through hell to entertain us in that match. And I'm pretty sure Bayley lost a tooth or something, because when she got KO'd on that ladder, it looked like she really did smack her head on that ladder, like for real. because at the end, like right after the impact of the KOD, Bailey immediately held her face, and because she was already bleeding, I think a little bit, and now I was pretty sure she messed herself up. But yeah, Bianca Belair got the victory here. The next match, which is another good banger match, which was Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit match, and this match was good. Now, the problem here was not really a problem, but in my mind, canon, I was thinking, how are they going to, if they given this major push to Finn Balor, how are they going to how are they going to do this where Finn Balor gets the victory? Because Edge is not going to say I quit. Then once I saw Beth Phoenix there, I'm like, they're probably going to go that route. And they did. So what I mean was, the match itself was good, had great spots. You know, both men didn't want to quit. But the wisdom of Judgment Day knew the only way to get Edge to quit was to get his wife, to somehow go his wife to get involved. Which they did, and Rhea Ripley knocked Beth Phoenix out with using a brass knuckle and threatening Edge with a concerto to Beth Phoenix. Edge said, I quit, giving Finn Balor the victory, but in Judgment Day fashion, they didn't care, and Rhea Ripley still concerto Beth Phoenix, and it was a good match. It was a good match. This is all just a setup for. I truly believe this is a setup for Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley versus Edge and Beth Phoenix in some capacity. Maybe at the Crown Jewel, probably. We get to the main event, which I figured this was going to get the main event because this was a big match, which is Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins in a fight pit match. And I seen it when he did it with Kurt Angle on NXT, and this match was just as good. Man, these guys beat the hell out of each other, and I like that he came. You know, Seth Rollins, he always, his costume and what he does when he comes out with the pay-per-views, depending on the city you're in, depending on if it's a wrestler connected to that city. Obviously, Rob Van Dam and ECW connected to Philadelphia, so he came out and, you know, and not, I guess, as Rob Van Dam like clothes, said, you know, instead of saying Rob Van Dam, he said Seth freaking Rollins. So he obviously came out trying to be Rob Van Dam, and him and Matt Riddle tore down the house. They did. They really did. Daniel Cormier did his thing as the referee and the officiating. I like that. I like the spot where both of them basically got physical with Daniel by accident, but they were scared. They showed their respectable fear of Daniel Cormier, like when Matt Riddle did it, he accidentally like shoved in his moment of heat and anger, he shoved Daniel Cormier, and Cormier like he stood there for a minute like, let me calm down because I'm unofficial, and he grabbed Matt Riddle and told him like, look, I'm unofficial, you fight him, you don't fight me, you fight him. No, don't touch me. No more. Don't touch me. You know, he gave them their warnings. And he did the same thing with Seth Rollins, but man, it came. Seth Rollins and them tore it down. He hit a floating bro time, and then he put Seth Rollins in the triangle choke for the submission of a win. But you notice something weird. Something weird with, and it was just that there was a whole bunch of time left. They was ending the show, but there was still time left. You know, it was at least a good 10 to 15 minutes left of the show. So what was they going to do? Out comes the final attraction of the night. As Daniel Cormier and Matt Riddle at the top of the ramp raising their hand, you see what? The lights go out, the fire flies out, and you just hear, he's got the whole world in his hands. The voice of Bray Wyatt himself singing that, and as he was singing it, there would be spotlights on people dressed like Rambling Rabbit and Husky Harris and not Husky Harris, but I forgot the pig's name. Then the Buzzy Buzzard and Sister Abigail, and then you saw Zombie Fiend's mask on the commentary table. Cause then it sounded light on Michael Cole and they jumped from the table because all of a sudden the Fiend's zombie burnt mask is on there, and then the actual somebody in the crowd dressed like the Fiend was in the crowd. And then you look, they showed the stage. The stage got this door reminiscent to the Wyatt compound's door, and it, as you can still hear, he got the whole world in his hands. You see the screen light up, and we see another. It looked like basically what you could say was they were showing everything of Bray Wyatt's past, leading up to this new version of him, as you will, and it led. On the screen they showed the Firefly Funhouse, and you can see it. You saw basically they tried to tell the story that since Bray Wyatt's release, when he got released, and then now his comeback, they showed what happened to it, and basically nobody's taking care of the Firefly Funhouse. Everything just all decayed, and cobwebs and spider webs, everything was just all decayed and destroyed, and or just not kept. And the only thing, you had the Firefly Funhouse thing playing it like almost in reverse, and then it'll play normally, but then it kept skipping or reversing itself again. And then the TV would come on with Bray Wyatt and his new mask, but it was like a distortion, like a distorted hacker like TV image, and you just see him saying he started repeating the phrase "Who killed the world?" and he eventually answered saying "You did." Then he said "We did," and then you hear that familiar Bray Wyatt laugh. The TV cuts out, and then it goes back to that door again on the ramp. Door flies open. Eventually, Bray Wyatt comes out in this new mask. No music still. There's no music. No White Rabbit music. Just him coming out to the thunderous fan ovation. This is the most live the crowd's ever been the whole night. And I mean, man, they blew the roof off. I swear, I could hear. I'm in Ohio, and I swear I could hear them from Philadelphia screaming that loud for Bray Wyatt. And he came out, he took off the mask, and did his signature. Instead of saying "Let me in" or "Run," he took to the ladder and just said "I'm here," and he blew it to end the show. So it seems like Bray Wyatt is not going to be coming back as the Fiend Bray Wyatt. He's going to be coming as this new White Rabbit version, which is look like it's the old version of Bray Wyatt, where he was like the little cult leader, cryptic message person. But he's also now this. I'm guessing he's going to be called the White Rabbit Bray Wyatt. That ending just alone gives it points. The whole pay-per-view was good. None of the matches was bad. If anything, I would say if anything, the Lil Morgan match was like I said, was the fact that it was slow at the first, but then picked up towards the middle and end. I would like had it been just like every other match, had been a banger from start to finish. But it still ended with it on a good note, or with sour note for me, because I didn't want Ronda Rousey to win. But I'm gonna give it an 8. No, you know what? I'm giving it a 9. That Bray Wyatt moment, it gets a 9. It gets a 9 out of 10. Big ups. It wasn't a perfect 10, but it was definitely a 9, which is very good. Or you know what? No, a 9 is considered great. So this is a great pay-per-view. You let me know in the comments down below what you thought, though. And if you enjoyed my review of Extreme Rules 2022, you hit this button right there in the upper right corner for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoyed this video so much, want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit those button, guys. And as always, hitting one of these videos for more amazing content. Don't go anywhere. Got more coming your way. Peace.